Okay, Dynamite Delight. Now, I want to say that I missed some of the show. I did see a little bit of replays of the bits I missed, but I didn't see all of it. But I want to say this, and I've already done this earlier, and I messed up. When something's going on in your apartment, you want to clean something, particularly if it's maybe oil based or like paint. Always remember to wear gloves, particularly if there's something there and you're using alcohol, particularly isopropyl alcohol at 91%. Wear gloves. I forgot when I was cleaning something, I forgot to put gloves on. I spent almost 45 minutes scrubbing my fingers clean I don't have anything, you could see it and they're pretty clean, luckily. But damn, that was so annoying. Don't make my mistake. Remember to wear gloves. But anyway, let me give it to you like this before we get started. And I'm not going to take long with this. I'm only going to go through some of this. If I'm missing stuff, of course, you're going to tell me. But let me give it to you like this. AEW has not been good for quite a while. And I'm going to be the one to say this. I'm not bragging. I wish it's not happening. But I've said this within the first 3 years of the company, where everyone else is going crazy wanting to sign absolutely every person that is under the sun. I was one of those people who said you should be careful. Let's wait a little bit. Dude, the women's division sucks. We got nothing but tag. And yes, it was good tag, but we got nothing but tag. There was no balance. But as you already know, like Just Alex, who now has turned his entire tune around of 180 degrees, just like JD, just like Solomonster, just like Grimm or anyone else, they've already stated what I said earlier. I wasn't popular about it. Literally, there was too much imbalance in AEW. I'm hearing people say it doesn't matter if the company has too many people and you got to sign this person and you got to sign that person. Everyone knew there was an issue and nobody wanted to accept that there was an issue. They just wanted to sign people to AEW, and now you got a huge amount of people. You have a problem still when it comes to production. Technically speaking, production's fine. But it's like, production when it comes to character development. Production when it comes to booking. That's the best way to say it. And also, when it comes to keeping the peace in the back. This stuff has been a major issue. And if you saw the last numbers, 600 to maybe 620,000 people. We went from 1.1 million almost at one point, or 1.2 to 600,000. This is bad. I've never said everything was perfect, but I was always very honest about things. Now we get Just Alex and JD. They're seeing what I've talked about before they were. Now, I'm not a fortune teller, and I'm not always right. Hell, I forgot that Rosemary was not in a menagerie. And someone corrected me, and I'm glad. I'm not someone that is going to get pissed that I'm wrong. I'm cool. I eat crow, or I learned something. I had forgotten that Rosemary did not start the menagerie. But we had people who did. And I thought she was when she was with Abyss and Crazy Steve. I forgot she didn't join the menagerie with Rebel. She didn't. When Menagerie was gone and they went to Decay, that's when Rosemary appeared. So, but let me give it to you like this. This show feels rushed. All in within a few weeks of All Out. It's ridiculous. I don't know why they chose to do it here. This doesn't make much sense. They have some build, but it's not enough. It feels lacking. Let's open. Continental Classic. Kyle Fletcher versus Oshusuke Okada. I believe I'm pronouncing his name. Oshusuke Okada. If I'm mispronouncing Okada's first name, I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. I'm dyslexic. I'm always wrong. But it felt empty. Know why? No story behind it. Worse yet, there was a story with Kyle Fletcher. There was a story with Don Callis and Don Callis' family. And now they went from looking like they were going to have a turn on somebody, like what happened when who was the one who locked Will Ospreay in the room? We don't even know. It looks like they may have just dropped the entire situation. They may have dropped it. And it's hard to tell if they're even going to pick it back up again. But when you look at this match, it feels lacking. Not because the quality of the match was bad. It was fine. And seeing that Kateska came out after Okada basically cleaned the floor with a Kyle Fletcher. It was a good match. Kyle did very well, but still, you know what are you feeling right now? Are you feeling that Okada is going to go up against Kateska? The ace is going to go up against the I forgot what they call him now. It's been so long. I forgot what they called him. What did they call him? The alpha of a Kateska. That's what it is. But I haven't seen the alpha in months and months and months. I didn't see him on Collision when I was watching, and not barely at all. And then I haven't seen him on Dynamite at all. I don't know if he's exclusive to Collision or exclusive to Dynamite. I don't know. I don't feel anything. And that's not because they're not trying. It's just that the booking is bad and the character development is bad. We don't know. Moving on. The match of Jamie Hayter versus what do I believe of Robin Renegade and her sister? Well, mainly Robin. I've only seen mainly Robin. Robin's good. And I've heard people say, why is she not on the main roster? To be honest, even if she was on the main roster, at this point, I don't know how they book her. I don't know. With what's been going on with Mercedes Moné, what's going on with Camille, what's going on with Jamie Hayter, what's going on with Soraya, what's going on with Britt Baker, what's going to go when it comes down to Mariah May and my taste is Toni Storm, they're having problems just trying to write for them and bringing Robin Renegade onto the main roster where most of the time she'll probably just job, kind of like Anna Jay did and basically Ty Mello did. At least until they finally gave her a storyline, it's a problem. And you're going to probably say, dude, you can't book everyone great. I'm not talking about booking everyone great. I'm talking about just booking them. Because, honestly, we get matches, but no matches really gives us anything building anywhere. Before All In, most of the matches were barely even booked until the last 2 weeks. And that was bad. And you want to bring Robin in, you can. But in the end, if you bring it to the main roster, if she's not working on ROH, I don't know what you're going to do with her. She'll probably have random matches with people. It's not going to lead anything for the person there. And if it does lead to be something important to the person she's going up against, she's going to job. That's what she's going to be used for. She's already doing it now. She just do it more often on the main roster, via the Collision or Dynamite. I'm just saying. She lost. I'm not surprised. Jamie had to look strong. Next, let's do... I did not see this match. I had to watch it. Because I thought I got this stuff off my hands. I did not. Let me give it to you like this. Mariah May versus Nia Rose. Let's make it clear. I didn't even need to watch the match to know that it was going to be competitive because Nia is bigger than Mariah. And she was going to lose to Mariah. I knew she was going to lose. There was no way she wasn't going to lose. She just lost. There's no way a Nia Rose is going to beat Mariah May, who's the current AEW champion. She wasn't going to lose in an eliminator match. I think it might have been an eliminator match. I don't know. I saw a little bit of the match so I can move on to the next stuff. So I'm sorry, I don't normally do that, but I had an issue. But now the key of this situation is, what are we really getting here? What? I don't know. I don't know. What we come with Mariah dealing with Nia, nothing. She's just jobbing. Now, when it comes to Toni Storm versus Mariah, I don't know where they're going to go next. I don't know. I know they're going to keep challenging. I know Toni's coming back. I know she's going to fight her. But the key of this is not just getting the title back. This is about making it important. What are they going to do? Is it going to be a 2 out of 3 falls match? Is this going to be for the title of something other than the championship? Is Toni Storm going to do something entirely different? Will she change her persona? What are they going to do? I don't know. Are they going to keep Toni Storm as she is? Are they going to try and turn around into something entirely different? Are they going to revert her back to the old Toni Storm? I'm not saying turning her back to the old Toni Storm is wise. I like her as tasteless Toni Storm, my Toni Storm. But you never know. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping it'll be done correctly, and I'm hoping that the rematch will be done also correctly, which it was a damn good match. Moving on, you already know who won. The trios match. You got the Blackpool Combat Club with Pac, who I believe now is a member of the Blackpool Combat Club. And we got Orange, we got Ospreay, and we got Kyle O'Reilly, who at one point, and almost forgot. You guys tell me below before I say this. Did you notice the camera work was kind of strange? That they kept focusing on the hands of people? Like they wanted to get a look at the competitors at the opposite side of the ring, but they kept focusing on the hand a lot. That happened with, I believe, Okada, and also with Mariah May, and I don't know why they're doing that. Looking at Nia Rose's hand before the match starts is weird. You guys tell me below. I don't get it. I'm just, what? Now, the match itself for the trios was good. We get to see Ospreay facing off against my boy, Pac. I'm sorry, you don't like Pac. I don't give a fuck. Pac's my boy. He's my boy. I've always believed Pac was really good, but he has a good attitude with his character. He knows how to make it work. But he's never gotten farther than the International Championship, the All-Atlantic Championship. He's never been challenged for the World title or the TNT title. That's what he just stuck him, along with the Trios title. And I feel like, why? Pac is more talented than that. Why are they not doing it? What's the deal here? And I'm like, I'm not happy the way they're booking Pac. Yes, he's going up against Will Ospreay in the International Championship it all out, but that's not the point. The point is, Pac was at the very beginning. He went up against Kenny Omega in one of the first shows they had in 19. And I'm like, where is Pac now? He's still in the same spot as he was before, other than winning the Trios titles in the Death Triangle, now with the Blackpool Combat Club, and getting the All-Atlantic, being the inaugural All-Atlantic champion, and maybe he may win the International, which I don't think he will. Why hasn't he gone after the TNT title? Why hasn't he gone after the World title? Why won't they book him? You guys tell me below. You know who won the match. It was the champs. I am not surprised. But then once you see Bryan Danielson come down, he was on commentary. And there was some weird talk. If you saw this on the app and not on AEW on TNT, it was weird talk that was in commentary. What the blue fuck is going on? What? You know, there's always been a weird vibe with the commentary team of Taz, Excalibur, and Tony. I mean, there's always been a weird one, particularly when you don't hear it on TNT, when you have the app, which I do, and you watch it that way, and you're like, what are these guys talking? There's such weird talk. Sometimes you see them actually arguing with each other, and that's on the freaking app. They don't go to commercial on the app. You hear everything that's being stated. So I'm like, why? Why? I don't get it. Sometimes I wonder, they need to break them up. Keep Taz on commentary, but put someone else there with him. I'm like, why? Anyway, we got the match. The champs won. The Elite comes out. Claudio wants to challenge the Elite at All Out to try and get the tag titles, because he ain't doing nothing, even though he won the title with Wheeler Yuta and Pac. So they got something to do if they accept. But now here's where things get interesting. We gone for the matches, which were all decent, but from what I could tell. But what we got that was more important, that took up the majority of the show, was the character development, the stories. Daniel Garcia, please. Tell me what you want to do. You want to destroy an MJF to the point where when he hopes he finally finds someone that will stick with him more than a year. That's kind of like going a little real. Then have a kid. Get married, have a kid, have a picket fence home, but when he's with his kid, he feels pain from his head down to his toes, and he says about him when he's with his kid, and his kid says, Dad, were you a pro wrestler? And he has to say yes. This is what Daniel Garcia says. You say yes, and you have to think about Daniel Garcia because I'm going to snap the shit out of that neck. He didn't curse, but that's what he was implying. I will say this. Daniel did a good job. He's not one of the best talkers, but he was with the best talker, who was drinking looks like actual wine. But let me give it to you like this. Seeing that wine bottle cracked on Daniel's head, and he's been told, I want to thank you for bringing something back awake in me that wasn't awake before, and I'm going to give you a gift. You can either go to hell, you can go to heaven, and I will send you to heaven. When we have our match, I will happily send you to heaven. While Danny's head is bleeding, he kisses his head. I'm not going to do any pictures here. I'm skipping that because I want to say this. This was a very good segment. Sad, there was nothing major connected to it, like a title. I'm not saying that this with MJF and Dan Garcia is bad. It's actually one of the better storylines here. I'm actually quite impressed. But the problem here is this type of thing needs a title. It needs some type of stakes next to them trying to break each other's necks. And honestly, it feels like it's needing more time. Needing some type of stipulation. Something. Yes, this would be the first match of them going up against each other. But honestly, it feels like they need more because they do. Next. What can I say? I gotta tell you this when it came to Mercedes. I did watch, because I missed it. I did watch it. Was it a good segment when it came to Hiro Kushida? And was it good with Mercedes Moné as her next challenger? No. No, it doesn't. Now, it's not Hiro Kushida's problem. It's not her fault. And it's not Mercedes Moné's fault either. This was the fault of Tony. For the simple reason, this should have been built more better with a longer period of time to work on it. Because I kind of wish that this situation would be stretched to the next pay-per-view. Not at All Out. It's too soon. It feels Hiro Kushida is just basically wedged in there. It's not her fault. She did a good job, and since she can talk English, it really helped the situation. And now that Camille's being banned from ringside on their lovely match. It's fine, but it still doesn't feel special because there's just no time to build into it because the Britt Baker match was so short from this. I mean, let's make it clear. It only just recently happened less than a few weeks ago. Now we're getting another pay-per-view that really needed more time to marinate. And this is why this match doesn't feel important. It's not Mercedes' fault. It's not Hiro Kushida's fault. And it's not even Camille's fault. It's because this is being rushed and it sucks. Finally, let me give it to you like this when it came to Swerve. Damn. They went there. I don't remember the WWE doing this. Going this far, or TNA for that matter. I don't remember. Now, mind you, that WWE might have set, I know they set a bus on fire, they destroyed a car, they put concrete in certain things. They have done some crazy stuff, but I've never seen them set a house on fire. Hell, when Bray Wyatt was alive, they did have a segment inside of a house, tearing it apart with Randy Orton. Yeah. But I don't remember if they just set a damn house on fire. When I saw Swerve with Prince Nana at a house, and I'm like, okay. Two things I thought. At first I said, well, this is kind of cool. I mean, if this is real life, not saying it is real life, this might just have been a house that they bought that basically no one cared about. Or it could have actually been Swerve's actual house. I don't think it is. And he was willing to set it on fire the way they did. I don't think it's his real house. They just bought it and they set up this skit. I'm like, I haven't seen something that's surprising in quite a while. It's been quite a while to see someone willing to set something like that on fire. And when you see Hangman Page going into the house, talking about Swerve's mom, talking about how she was walking around in a filthy house, how dare you? And then talking about the dad, saying, shut the hell up, boy, I'm watching TV, and didn't act like he loved him. You said, you know what, I don't think your father ever loved you, and you've been always a disappointment. Next is saying Swerve's own woman is no longer with him, and I believe that's his fiancée, and his kids are not with him. This is all he has. This shows his true weakness, his family home that he, in the story, lost because they couldn't take care, they couldn't afford it, they couldn't stay, they had to lose it, and he finally bought it back with Prince Nana. So, when you see a Hangman Page, he makes it clear, I'm taking everything from you. When you said you were parked in front of my house at one point, when I was taking my pregnant wife, who was about to give birth to my second kid, and you were watching us, you said, I had to make a choice. Either I'd be obsessed or I want success. Which one am I going to do? Well, guess what? This is what he didn't say this word per word, but he's making it clear. You made the choice to want to do success. You didn't want to be obsessed with me anymore. Fine. That ain't me. That ain't me. I'm going to be obsessed. There is no other focus than other to destroy you. I don't care what it takes to destroy you. You will have nothing by the time I'm done with you. And Swerve is losing his freaking mind in the damn ring, hammering on the mat, hammering, throwing the chairs around, throwing the tables around. You see Nana going like this, and Swerve putting his hand to his chest like someone's trying to rip out his heart. And then he lights that bitch up, which I'm hoping they made definitely sure everything was right and looked like it was. They made sure that Hangman Page was safe, and that place, that bitch went up in flame. That's the way it looked. It looked like it went up in flames. I'm sure the fire department was there to put that bitch out when they were finished filming. Hangman got up, the fire department came in, put that bitch out, and that was it. But shit, that was some nice shit there. Now, do I believe that's going to bring in ratings? Yeah. Do I believe it's going to bring in high ratings? No. At this time, we still have a major issue. AEW is still like this. And they have moments where they were like this. Straight. But because of all the controversy, what happened with Britt Baker, what was going on in the back with that type of controversy, knowing that there's just issues still there and people are still watching it with a microscope. Understand, even if AEW does everything right from now on, they will be still like this by the wrestling media. That is what we got here. And no matter what, because they're under a heavy microscope, no matter if they do something small wrong or large wrong, it's just going to look bad for them. And they're still stuck as they are. But here's the problem. The booking's still an issue. In my point of view, it's still not perfect. They still don't focus on the right things. But that's just me. Peace.